Get ready for a massive market shakeup. Mitsubishi UFJ Asset Management Co. Limited has drastically cut its stake in Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, TSM, slashing its ownership by over 26% in the last quarter, and we break down exactly what this move means for the semiconductor giant and the wider investment landscape.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, we look at the explosive performance of ON Semiconductor. This company's stock has rallied an incredible 90% year-to-date, fueled by surging AI data center demand, and we dive into how their power modules and silicon carbide solutions are positioning them for massive growth. We are back with Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. We examine the varied reactions from major players, including C Worldwide Group holding AS reducing its position, while Stevens Consulting LLC dramatically increased its stake, showing the intense activity surrounding this semiconductor powerhouse. And finally, we turn our attention to India's future. Vaishnaw discusses the incredible potential of railways and semiconductors as the next major growth surge for the Indian economy. Don't miss out on this crucial insight. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Noi Dung Kai Tait, Mitsubishi UFJ Asset Management Co. Limited, has significantly reduced its investment in Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, cutting its stake by 26.7% during the fourth quarter. The firm sold 6,260 shares, leaving it with 17,150 shares, valuing its holding at $5,516,000 at the close of the reporting period. /N the movement in TSM is part of broader activity among institutional investors and hedge funds. Other notable transactions include Shannon River Fund Management, LLC, acquiring a new position valued at approximately $2.43 million in the third quarter. Vanguard Personalized Indexing Management, LLC, increased its holding by 9.4%, now owning 101,876 shares, worth $28.47 million, after purchasing an additional 8,738 shares. Hans Financial Services, Inc. lifted its stake by 28.6% in the third quarter, while Hollandcrest Capital Management increased its stake by 125.3%. /N institutional and hedge funds collectively own 16.51% of Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing stock. On Monday, TSM opened at $411.05, trading near its 50-day moving average of 361.06. /N recent financial data for TSM shows a market capitalization of $2.13 trillion, a price-to-earnings ratio of 34.2, and a beta of 1.39. The company recently reported quarterly earnings with $3.11 EPS and $30.65 billion in revenue for the quarter, demonstrating a strong return on equity of 38.17% and a net margin of 46.97%. /N looking ahead, research sentiment remains largely positive. Several firms have issued upgrades, including Argus rating TSM a /strong buy / and Freedom Capital also upgrading it to a /strong buy / Wedbush reaffirmed and outperform / rating, and TD Cowen raised its target price to $370, maintaining a hold / rating. /N regarding shareholder returns. TSM recently disclosed a quarterly dividend of 0.9503 per share, with a $3.80 annualized dividend and a dividend yield of 0.9%. Analysts predict the company will post $15.25 EPS for the current fiscal year, /N/N in insider activity. VP Borzentine purchased 1,000 shares on March 22nd, increasing their direct ownership by 12.42%. Overall, the consensus rating among research analysts currently stands at /buy/ with an average target price of $404.29. ON Semiconductor stock has surged nearly 90% year-to-date in 2025, fueled by explosive demand in the artificial intelligence data center sector. The company reported strong first quarter 2026 results on May 4, surpassing Wall Street expectations on both revenue and earnings. Revenue reached $1.51 billion, marking a 4.7% year-over-year increase, while non-GAAP earnings per share, EPS, of 64 cents exceeded the consensus estimate of 61 cents. The primary driver of this performance was the AI data center segment, which experienced a significant 30% sequential jump. Management forecasts this segment to double in revenue over the full 2026 year, driven by the integration of ON's power modules and point-of-load solutions into liquid-cooled, high-density server racks supporting next-generation NVIDIA GPUs. Projections indicate substantial growth, with revenue opportunity per rack expected to climb from $15,000 today to $115,000 by 2030. The Power Solutions Group segment grew 14% year-over-year, largely propelled by AI demand. Furthermore, the company's silicon carbide platform demonstrated strength, with the CEO noting that CC solutions were incorporated into approximately 55% of new electric vehicle models launched in Auto China in May. Operationally, ON is executing a fab-right manufacturing strategy focused on consolidating production into efficient 300 facilities. This transition is projected to reduce capital expenditure and boost free cash flow margins, which hit a record 24% in 2025, positioning the company to achieve a free cash flow run rate exceeding $2 billion annually. The firm is aggressively pursuing this, directing 100% of its free cash flow toward a $6 billion buyback program. Despite the AI momentum, other segments show mixed results. The analog and mixed signal segment declined by 5% year-over-year, contributing 36% of total revenue. Automotive and industrial markets have seen only modest growth, described by management as stabilization rather than a full recovery. Financially, while the stock trades at approximately 35 times forward non-GAAP earnings, which is below peers like Texas Instruments, GAAP figures present a more challenging picture. Heavy restructuring charges resulted in a GAAP net loss of $33.4 million in Q1, with an operating margin of just 3.5%. Institutional ownership remains extremely high at 97.7%, contrasting with minimal insider ownership, where CFO Trent Thad sold 60,000 units in February. Analyst sentiment is divided, with a consensus price target averaging $87.27, roughly 15% below the current trading price. For the second quarter of 2026, management guided EPS between 65 cents and 77 cents, with a full-year EPS consensus estimate set at $3.09. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, ticker symbol TSM, is experiencing significant activity across institutional investment and analyst ratings. Recent filings indicate shifts in major fund holdings, with C Worldwide Group holding AS reducing its position by 1.8% in the fourth quarter, leaving it as the ninth largest holding in the fund's portfolio, valued at $230.4 million at quarter end. Meanwhile, other investors have made notable adjustments. Stevens Consulting LLC increased its stake by 82%. Ares Financial Consulting LLC added a new position valued at approximately $29,000. Mizuho LLP entered the stock with a $35,000 position, and West End Capital Management LLC saw a substantial 476.2% growth in its holding. Cedar Wealth Management LLC also significantly increased its stake by 91.4% in the third quarter. Collectively, hedge funds and institutional investors currently control 16.51% of TSM stock. Analyst sentiment surrounding TSM remains largely positive, though varied. Several brokerages have recently adjusted their price targets. TD Cowen raised its target from $325 to $370 with a hold rating, while Needham & Company LLC increased its target from $410 to $480 and maintained a buy rating. Freedom Capital upgraded the stock to a strong buy, and Barclays lifted its target from $450 to $470 with an overweight rating. Overall, based on data compiled from channel YouTube.com, TSM holds a consensus buy rating with a consensus target price of $404.29, supported by 11 buy ratings and 2 hold ratings among the analysts tracked. Corporate insider activity has also been noted, with VP Borzen acquiring 1,000 shares on March 22nd at an average cost of $55.93 per share, increasing their total holdings to 9,051 shares. Corporate insiders collectively own 1.11% of the company's stock. Financially, TSM recently reported strong quarterly earnings on February 10th, posting $3.11 in earnings per share on $30.65 billion in revenue, achieving a return on equity of 38.17% and a net margin of 46.97%. Analysts project the company to post $15.25 earnings per share for the current fiscal year. Furthermore, the company announced a quarterly dividend of $0.9503 per share, set to be paid on July 9th, representing a $3.80 annualized dividend with a yield of 0.9%. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited operates as a leading pure-play semiconductor foundry, specializing in wafer fabrication for integrated circuits across various technologies, including logic, mixed signal, and advanced nodes critical for mobile, high-performance computing, and AI applications. The company's market capitalization stands at $2.13 trillion, with a P/E ratio of 34.2. The stock has recently traded within a 12-month range of $176.47 to $420. TSM's current trading data shows a 50-day simple moving average of $361.06 and a 200-day simple moving average of $330.36. The company maintains a healthy financial profile with a debt-to-equity ratio of 0.17 and strong liquidity ratios, including a current ratio of 2.51 and a quick ratio of 2.32. India is poised for a significant growth surge driven by the convergence of 3 key sectors: railways, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence power. This outlook was highlighted by Vaishnaw in a recent commentary for ET Manufacturing. The analysis suggests that these interconnected industries are set to become major engines for the nation's economic expansion. The report points to strategic investments and technological advancements within these areas as the primary catalysts for this anticipated boom, positioning India strongly in the global manufacturing and technology landscape.